articulate that. So like any other community or group of people, it's starting to get a little divisive in terms of the way people are speaking to and about each other. So we just try to make sure that we're always respectful of people who have different abilities. Does anybody have any questions so far? Because you will have to interrupt me. This is how it works. Ask him.
You'll know, Sammy, this club has no problem interrupting.
Okay, good.
if you have a question.
And you're hearing me okay, everybody?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So a couple of things that I wanted to say about Bailey's team is that, so we started, Bailey's team formally became incorporated in 2008, although we had already been raising funds in support of it way back for research. I learned very quickly when you have somebody who's diagnosed with autism, first thing you want to do is fix it. Don't quote me on that because people will come barreling through the door and try to hurt me, okay? But when you're a mom and a dad of somebody who's different and you don't know what your life or their life is going to be like, you want to try to make it better. And usually that means trying to help them through or fix the problem. When you learn quickly, you cannot fix it, and it's just a different way of being, a different way of learning, a different way of communicating, a different way of surviving on behalf of the parents. You adjust and you change your expectations. It doesn't mean you don't have any, you just change them. With that said, like I said, Bailey is a joy. I will try to show you a picture at some point because he is absolutely beautiful. Want to chime in that? Okay. You were supposed to validate that.
He is.
Okay. Yeah, if you're going to be here, you're going to do what you're supposed to do. Okay. So meanwhile, Bailey's team raises funds and awareness in support of people with autism. So when we started, we did a letter campaign like every other nonprofit. We have fundraisers like every other nonprofit. We have a golf tournament, we have a run, we have a wine tasting, one of my personal favorites. We also now have an art show. All of our artists that we feature have autism, and I'll tell you a little more about each thing. We also have family events. We have an event at Franklin Park Zoo in Boston and an event at Roger Williams Park Zoo in Rhode Island. And the inspiration for that was a lot of us could never leave the house. We could never really go anywhere without feeling uncomfortable. So we started that event so that families would come to this event and there would be other families like them and they would just feel better about being out in the community because they knew they weren't the only people, you know, walking this path. Some of our kids, thank you, some of our kids melt down in public. Some of them might try to hurt themselves. Some of them do nothing out of the ordinary, but people stare no matter what. Even if it's not to be disrespectful, people look at people and they're different. I look at everybody, but people look. And when there's that extra second and they don't turn away, then it's like, really? And no matter what the intention is, it feels yucky, you know? And then all of a sudden you're one of those families and people start to feel bad or they judge and it's just a whole, I have to be careful with my language, but it's not a good thing. So Bailey's Team for Autism really tries to help people in the community. We don't discriminate. We try to support families who have all kinds of children and adults on the autism spectrum, whether they have higher needs or lower needs. Lower needs meaning that they might drive, they might have a conversation with you, they might be completely mainstreamed. Higher needs obviously are nonverbal or maybe can't be left alone or maybe are just more apparent to the general public that there's something going on there. But either way, we try to be supportive. Bailey's team raises money all year and then we give it all away. The way I explain it is that we're kind of like the Flutie Foundation, if you have any understanding of what they do without the really hot football player. So we just raise money, we give it away. Nobody gets paid. I'm not the executive director, I'm the president, and this is thankfully what I'm able to do, and I don't take salary or anything like that, because then we have less money to give away. Tom doesn't get paid, none of the board members get paid, and for every event we have volunteer committees. We have the most wonderful people that work with us for everything we do, absolutely everything. I wanted to talk about Foxboro a little bit because what you don't already know probably is that we have spent a lot of time in Foxboro. So when we started our run 15 years ago, I think, we started in Dedham. because we found out that we knew a person that was gonna teach us how to do that. And if many of you may know, if you wanna do things right, you don't just say ready, set, go and have a run. You try to get a timekeeper and you try to have some integrity, and then you get real runners show up, and that makes it a little bit more important. So we got quite the education, started at Legacy Place. It was pretty well attended the first year because we had, for lack of a better word, a promoter. It worked out. First year we made maybe $1,000. She expected us to be in the red because it was a learning year. We still did okay. And then after that, we made money every year. But after 2 years, we decided we knew how to do this. And I got people from Bay Colony, who I know you know, and they are never allowed to leave me because Rich, you know Rich Leslie? Yes, some of you do, okay. Well, he knows how to do this because he was a runner, and then that happens to be his brother